On this episode, we're at Birdman Media. Will Charles ask the tough questions?
How's business going?
Good.
Does Birdman know what he's doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Is Sean going to call someone daddy?
I'm not going to call you daddy.
Go! Stop.
Hey guys, if you enjoy the show, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the TMI Show. It's not too much information. I'm Sean Mills, the Mad Hatter of Mad Tea Party, madforfun.com.
And I'm Charles Tupper with Cedar Ridge Real Estate.
CharlesTupperRealtor.com.
Oh,
Keeps forgetting that. And we're here with Rob Birdman Hefner, www.birdman.media.
Yep,
correct?
That's
all right.
it.
Where'd you get Birdman from in the first place?
So you can watch a video. There's on the YouTube channel for the Birdman Media Community Edition, but it came about from motorcycling back in the 2000 realm. About 2000, we launched a website that had a forum on it with Car Sound Magazine. I was running Car Sound Magazine at the time with CMP Media, and used the name Rob Hefner. So that was my name on the forums. And about 6,000 posts a day, 180,000 users, it popped to the top of Google search pretty easily, my name. So when we decided in 2005 to start a motorcycle website, friends of mine locally, I needed a name because I couldn't use Rob Hefner because CMP would look at it as like, are you trying to set up another business? Or I didn't want it to confuse any Google searches with Car Sound. So we started riding around, and birds fly into me when I ride a motorcycle. And I thought that happened to everybody. Well, turns out that's kind of a unique thing, and I've got well over 100 bird strikes easily before we stopped counting. But about the 5th ride out, they went, that's it, you're Birdman. So the name was sort of like used, in that forum and stuff like that, and I got called it a little bit around. I started doing trainings around the United States with Total Control and on Marine Corps bases. And they brought up the fact, oh yeah, this is Birdman, like why is he Birdman? Because they're like, oh, full of crap, birds don't fly into them all the time. So I'm training these Marines, and there's about 60 of them or so. We're out on a tarmac, and I'm riding around to do the demo and warming up, and I go out, a bird comes out of nowhere and just bam, it hits me, and they're like, it's Birdman. That was it. Stuck from that point forward. So that name I then used in some TV stuff. I used it in some production stuff, and then when I got up here, relaunching KVSL, we did Fly Home with Birdman in the afternoon. It was the drive show. That's how it really got. Actually, I'll take it back. I actually did some afternoon stuff for White Mountain Radio. It was Birdman, but then when we relaunched KVSL, it was every single day. So that's really where it sort of started being used up here.
so what actually got you started in the media industry?
I think it was a book that I read when I was 8 years old. It was the autobiography of A.J. Foyt. And if you know anything about A.J. Foyt, he didn't really like the media at all. In fact, he threw a wrench at one of them once when they asked him what happened out on the racetrack. So he threw a wrench at him because it's a stupid question. And the way he talked about the media and the fact that they asked stupid questions, they almost asked questions just to ask the question, was annoying to him. Got me interested in there's got to be another way to approach things to get the story out of a person. One of the favorite things I used to do with my grandfather was sit at lunchtime with him, and my grandmother would make this oyster stew with the oyster crackers, and we'd listen to Paul Harvey. And Paul Harvey was a phenomenal guy at storytelling. And everybody will remember, the rest of the story. But the thing I always remember about Paul Harvey was he'd go to a commercial break, and he'd come back, he'd go, page 2? And that was the beginning of the next segment. And it was, those kind of things were always like those audio bookmarks. And audio to me was a big thing. I got in the music industry, went along with that. So I got involved with media because of, I liked performing I liked having things put together in a pattern and in a format to show to other people, and to help pass along those stories, knowledge, and differences.
So what do you do here?
So what do I do here? So I launched Birdman Media 5 years ago, over 5 years ago. I just left KVSL. It had a great start, and the momentum was there to be a community radio station, and then it sort of just started to fall apart. And that's a lot to do with a lot of different things. I wouldn't blame it on any individual, but the focus, the gentleman who had started it got sick right off the beginning of getting sick, so he wasn't able to get involved as much. Being involved in the community has to do with helping the community. Okay, it's telling the stories of the community, and that's what I wanted to do from the beginning. All the shows that I did there, and all the things I'd done previously was taking somebody's story and putting it forward, sort of like what you're doing here. You know, same thing. Okay, and it's good to have many different people doing this because it gives you different perspectives of the same story, which is fine. I've never seen any issue with that ever. So what I do here is allow people to have the ability to promote what they're doing, who they are, what this community is, in a way that's as easy for them to do it as possible. Because it's very hard for most people to sit behind a microphone or sit behind a camera and get comfortable. So I help them escape from that. And you know, my shows are not about me. They're really about the other person or the thing that's going on. And I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about them. So what I do here is help people tell their stories, do it in different ways and different formats, some shorter, some longer, but you get to get the experience from the person either that does it, putting it on, or is attached to it. So I mentioned training was one of the things that I did. So I did motorcycle training. Well, I didn't get into motorcycle training because I wanted to be superior to people or to tell them what to do or to, you know, have this trip. I got into motorcycle training because that was the only way to make myself a better rider. I'd done all these different courses, and I kept saying to the people who want it, well, what do I do to get better? Well, you need to train people. Mm-hmm. Because when you start to teach them how to do something, you have to understand it at a better level. So to go out and do the demo that you're going to show them, that's going to show them how to get better, you have to do the demo at a 10 times higher level than you've ever done it before, just as the student learning it. So the student becomes a master, and the master then teaches the student, and only when the master teaches the student do they truly become the expert. Then there's always that flip around that once you get to expert level, you have to challenge yourself to be the student again. Mm-hmm. Because in an expert's mind, there's like no possibility. There's like not much. For the student, there's all possibility. So that's always been the circle that I try to shove myself back into is, okay, if I get up to a certain level, fine. I want to then make another level that's up higher, so I'm back here learning again.
Always challenging yourself.
Yeah, I've always felt that when somebody ever calls me an expert at anything, I don't like being called an expert at anything because I'm constantly learning more about whatever the subject is that I'm doing. So when anybody ever calls me an expert, it was always just...
I saw somewhere that way back when that an expert was a guy 50 miles from home with a briefcase. And in reality, every single time you look at it, you go, oh. So when you look at people, what they go for, and they're like, oh, we need help with marketing. Oh, we need to get somebody out of town to help us. Well, no. Who knows the town better than anybody? The people in the town, right?
Right.
Yeah. So who knows the story? So that's one of the reasons you ask me what I do is sometimes people are like, well, I want to hire you so you can help me sell stuff. Okay, I can't sell your stuff. So I've got something on my card that says creating handshakes since 1999. All I can do is create a handshake to get you in motion to move forward. So as an interview or anything like this is you learn more about yourself as you're being interviewed and you tell your story. So you're making me be the teacher of my story here, so thanks. But it's that thing that you can't just start posting for somebody on Facebook and pretend to be them on Facebook and then drive their Facebook.
Right.
But that doesn't work. They have to be involved and engaged in that. Now you can help them with making their pictures better, making their images better, giving them a map to follow, things like that. But you can't really imitate somebody else's business and then be successful with it. You can do it short term, get a little bit of a boost, but then after that, it's kind of like it falls down because it isn't original, and it isn't true to what it is. And I couldn't be Charles Tupper selling Charles Tupper.
You wouldn't
real
want to be.
estate.
You wouldn't want to be.
Well, but I
my
couldn't.
voice.
Yeah. But voices always have. Everybody's got. So play with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I've noticed that you've got multiple YouTube channels.
So I have 2 YouTube channels specifically. One is the Community Edition, and the other is Patriot Edition. And it's kind of funny because some people think I split the Patriot off from Community because the Community was worried about guns or something. In reality, it's the Patriot was split out because the Patriot Edition is about guns, freedom, Patriot stuff that they didn't really care what's going on in Shiloh because it was like, the community stuff was cluttering that up. So that's why there's a split. Most people have viewed, the Patriot side, most of them aren't on the community side, aren't followers. The community side, most of them are followers of Patriot Edition. So those two kind of work together here locally. It's nationally more known in the Patriot Edition realm, and that's why there's the split. So all the shows, the gun shows and things like that go in the Patriot side, and then the Community Edition. Now there's only one show that's really different, and that's the Get on Target show, which is the Hub show, which was started 5 years ago here, hundreds of episodes. It's done differently than any of the other type of review shows that you see. It's actually guns that either Bruce owns or I own or the store has, and we shoot them. It's all first time experience, and it's all real as it happens almost within that day time frame. That show's shown on Patriot Edition because it's a gun, but in reality, it's posted on its own YouTube channel, which is the Hub's YouTube channel. So it gets posted there and on their channel, but it is local. And now, of course, they got a Tucson store. So that's the only one that's a little bit different, and that's why there's a split. But it's split down away, by the way, with Instagram and Facebook as well. Twitter is combined because, well, it's Twitter.
Without getting too technical, I guess, the audio podcast version of the show,
Yeah, so the audio side, started as an audio podcast.
Okay.
Because that was the better way to, first of all, it was easier to get everybody in the community used to me talking to them and getting them to open up, because then it was a very immersed experience. That lens kind of scares a lot of people, so there's already, the microphone's one level of fear, but you add the lens, it's another level of fear, so I stepped them through into it nicely. Started with the audio, but the audio listenership has always been almost 10 times the amount of the video listenership, because people can drop it in their car, they drop it on their phone, they can listen to it. I don't know where they listen to it, but I know they listen to it a lot. So there's a lot of downloads, and just recently we've surpassed 14.4 million downloads for the Birdman on the Mountain show, which is the key podcast that I have on the Birdman thing. And there's something significant going to be happening with that show here at the beginning of January, so stay tuned for that.
Does Charles still like to be funny?
Well, you know me, in the past, with me, I like to be funny.
Will Birdman reveal a big secret?
So stay tuned for that.
Is Sean ready for dessert? You talking ice cream? Hey guys, if you enjoy the show, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We really appreciate it.